All right, welcome back to the KR Daily Transmission. I'm so happy to be here celebrating with you post Austin. Feel free to say hello in the chat where you're watching live from. Yeah, wow. Wow, Austin was so huge. um, just really feeling into my own recovery. And as I was getting ready for this live, I kept asking myself and the Ascended Masters, you know, what is the prayer for today's live? Hi, welcome back. And the prayer was that was coming through is like everyone that participated in Austin, both live and virtually, took a huge, and I mean huge, step forward in their lives. And I know I did as well, and so did our team. And when that happens, when we hit a spiritual high, a spiritual resonance that's that powerful, and we return home, there is almost like a ice cold spray in the face, like ice cold water that hits us in the face of like, oh wow, hello from Paris, so good to see you. Oh my God, I didn't know there was that much potential that was activated within me until I stepped back into the container of my daily life and got to witness myself fully changed and empowered within the same space that I am returning home to in my business, in my workplace. Good morning, everyone. And with my family, friends. And so it's important. I think what came through for this KR daily transmission is like, wow, this bird is really having something to say here. Is you're changed. We're changed. That was huge what happened live. Those downloads of Christ consciousness, witnessing, light worker after light worker stepping up to the mic, reclaiming their body, reclaiming their power, reclaiming their purpose, reclaiming their creative genius on stage, witnessing our community having this very intense and powerful conversation about leadership, the fire ceremonies that we had, the beings that came through for us, between the Ascended Masters and the angels and the Star Nations and the Order of Sky Grandmothers. What a huge surprise for that last ceremony. The changes that we've all walked through together, they're life-changing, they're permanent, and we're re-entering the stratosphere of each of our individual reality and bringing that empowerment with us. And what's the first thing you notice? Wow, what I thought was okay in my life before, wow, now I understand how it's ready to change. Linda is writing in, who's one of our Sophia Circle leaders. Good morning, Kaia, from Portland, Oregon. I took a huge upgrade in my spiritual leadership in unexpected ways. So powerful. Thank you. There's nothing like being in a room with you. Thank you, Linda. I so appreciate that feedback. Cynthia's writing in, I'm feeling so much more of me, so much more present, so liberated. Jen is writing in, it was the most powerful event I have ever participated in, with a big boom and a diamond and a dancing dragon. Good morning, Chelsea. Chelsea is also one of our Sophia Circle leaders. So if you want to celebrate, Deborah is sharing, she's also one of our Sophia Circle leaders, that she's feeling more expanded and more patient. If you want to share some of your breakthroughs from last week, feel free to share in the chat. I'm ready to celebrate with you. Lisa, who's one of our Sophia Circle leaders, is sharing, I feel so different, Kaia. Being in Austin with you and all of those beautiful leaders was life-changing. My cells feel rearranged. Oh my gosh, that's the prayer. That's the prayer. Jennifer's sharing, I'm still integrating and was such a blessing to be in ceremony with you and all of the beautiful angels. Thank you so much. Lindsay, who's one of our team angels, is sharing. I love what you are sharing. It's so powerful. Oh, yeah, our community is extremely powerful. And Jennifer's also adding, I'm feeling extremely liberated, blissful, and alive with a lot of emotions that keep arising. I'm just trying to go with the ebb and the flow. Julie sharing, I'm so happy that you were all able to experience such a powerful event, and she can't wait for the Sedona event. Wings up, Julie. Good morning. Chelsea is sharing, I'm having aha moments that keep popping up. It took more financial accountability yesterday and getting even more sober. Hi, Jade. Jade's one of our Sophia Circle leaders popping on with lots of hearts. Lani is sharing, I'm integrating, releasing layers of unworthiness. Absolutely. And Lani, I'm so glad that you wrote that in, because I was surprised. This was this was by far the most powerful event that we've produced to date. We as a team have never been more organized. The event's never been more beautiful. Magical Living is saying, my family is saying that I'm literally glowing now and everything feels in the flow. That is awesome, Susan. We took a huge step forward with our Sophia Circle leaders that we've been waiting to take for like a couple years now. And there were so many extraordinary wins. And the moment I got back home, it was like, boom, so many realizations of where we need to grow next, and what's being released in real time within me, within others, and realizing like, wow, there's so much bliss. And when we touch into that bliss of Christ consciousness within us, we become aware of everything that's being shaken out, shed in real time, and to really become present with those next steps to take our offering, to take our leadership to the next level. So I just want to share with you that no matter what may be arising for you as you integrate both the major victories as well as the growth that is now making itself known, that these victories also come with next level growth edges, next level vulnerability, next level integration. Oh my gosh, Lisa, I love this. I'm going to read what Lisa's writing in. She says, I'm noticing everything in my life that I've outgrown, and I'm committed to letting go of whatever is not aligned with my higher self. 1 million, Lisa, 1,000,000%. That's exactly the feeling I had when I walked through my door. It was like, oh my God, how did I outgrow so much so fast? I don't even know how that's possible. It's only been a week, but of course it's possible because it's with the Sophia Dragon Tribe. So I want to share that, like, I love what Lisa is saying here. She's saying, I'm committed to letting go of whatever is not aligned with my higher self. And that was the first thing that I got from divine guidance, from Sophia, or whatever you call God, divine mother, divine father. It was like, go sit down, journal, meditate, be present with this consciousness that is looking through your eyes, flowing through your body, that can feel, that can see, that knows, oh, that's ready for an upgrade. Oh, wow, that's ready to be shed. Oh, wow, what I didn't think was possible to create time for before I left for Austin. Oh, wow, I'm going to make that number one priority on my, now that I'm back from Austin. It was like, whoo, yeah, okay, that fire burned through old resistances that were, holding me in smaller patterns that were ready to expand, right? To match where my dragon-sized soul wants to go. Alexandra is sharing, I loved Austin. It sprung me forward in such a big way, and what has been holding me back for so long. I'm still integrating all the light that is coming through. Yes, thank you for sharing that, Alexandra. Integration can take days, it can take weeks, it can even take months. That's why we spaced out the Austin event, which is building us up for Sedona in August. You've got a couple months to really integrate the impact of what just happened live in Austin. Linda's sharing, a room full of angels and dragons and the high caliber resonance has refreshed and inspired me to see myself differently and more lovingly. Are you kidding me? Feels like 100 new friends that I love. It's so exciting. Thanks for sharing that, Linda. Kathy is sharing, so thankful for the virtual offering. I'm so glad to hear that, Kathy. That was a big step for us to be able to make that possible. Kathy's sharing, I'm ready for my next logical step, and journaling is a huge blessing for me. It's helping me choose to be brave. Yes, so exciting. Jen is sharing, during the chakra activations, I experienced so much stuck within my physical and energetic bodies being released. I felt 40 pounds lighter when I got up off the grass. Yeah, that was what Jen is referring to as our closing Sophia Dragon Fire ceremony, where we had everyone lay out on the grass to receive all of the layers of the old chakra blueprints that were being released, to release them down into the earth. Like, a lot of times we don't know how much resistance we have to these seraphim, these Sophia dragons supporting us to really step into a truly crystalline chakra activation. And so they showed me that it was really important that we all laid down, which was a signal to our awareness that it was safe to fully surrender into the support of the earth, and to allow these Sophia dragons to deeply, deeply heal and bless us in truly quantum ways. Beta is writing in, thank you, Kaia, for this amazing ceremony. I experienced the virtual and it was so strong, the amazing experiences. Many things shifted inside and lots of magic happened. I stand stronger within. Oh my God. I am so grateful to hear that, Beta. That was a big decision to broadcast a virtual conference, and I'm so glad we could make that happen last minute. And thanks for sharing your reflections, because I'm always hoping that the virtual is going to be just as impactful. And from all the feedback that we received, it sounds as though it really was exactly what people needed for those who were attending virtually, and that means the world to hear that. Let's see. Lisa's sharing, oh my God, Jen, I feel the same. I feel lighter too. My clothes literally fit me differently. Yes, Lisa, that's awesome. That ceremony was so powerful and beautiful. And I also want to thank our team angels, Lindsay and Corey, for all the ways that they supported us on that virtual live feed. We had an amazing video crew. This company that we found in Austin, thank God, they were just so kind and so generous. And really, like, everyone from Addison Grove was just so incredibly kind and helpful and generous. And everything was so divinely guided. And I'm so grateful to all of the team angels and the Sophia Circle leaders that volunteered. If you are curious about volunteering for our events, like, our criteria is that you are enrolled in Sophia Circle leadership, or that you are already a certified leader. I believe we might have even changed the status to certified leader, because what we realized was the certified leaders are grounding this energy in a way that, unlike anyone else can, because they've gone through every single module activation step in the certification program. And so, you know, when you're in ceremony with us, it's an extremely high frequency, and staying grounded in that frequency and being able to function other than just sitting or laying down is a really big deal. And so what I often tell our volunteers is, like, you're receiving the double blessing. You're learning how to navigate, how to support and be of service to others at this super high frequency. The fact that you can speak, the fact that you can step up to the mic, the fact that you can be a part of these ceremonial offerings while you are simultaneously experiencing this energy, it's a really big deal. And it takes massive focus and concentration and practice. And that's what all of our Sophia Circle leaders are learning as they lead their 13 gatherings for every Sophia Circle journey that they're leading. It's like they are, with every gathering, they are learning how to anchor Sophia Christ consciousness within themselves and how to operate from that perspective. Lisa is sharing, the animals that showed up were all so beautiful and perfect. I saw hummingbirds, lizards, longhorn cows, frogs. It was amazing. I know, it was totally amazing. If you had a special moment in Austin with an animal totem, feel free to share that in the chat. Our security guard, Austin, he kept seeing the most amazing signs with animals. Like, before we started our first ceremony, he saw black-tailed deer. Black-tailed deer means, like, your prayers are about to get answered really, really fast. Brianna is asking, do you have to do the Stargate curriculum before you do the leadership certification curriculum? Hi, Brianna. Your enrollment in Sophia Circle Leadership comes with the Stargate 1 curriculum. The Stargate 1 curriculum is a journey for how to embody your higher self, how to mentor with the Ascended Masters, how to activate and deepen in your divine genome activations. And it also teaches you important altar practices that teach you over time how to embody Sophia Christ consciousness in a very stable, integrated, and focused way, just as our leaders are embodying it. I can always tell the difference between people who have done the Stargate 1 and Stargate 2 curriculum versus people who haven't. People who've walked through the Stargate 1 and the Stargate 2 curriculum walk with greater spiritual maturity, greater confidence, and greater self-love in their willingness to step up to the plate of spiritual leadership. Further, those Sophia Circle leaders who truly take in the Stargate 1 curriculum know how to best be of service to all of their clients that come to their Sophia Circle journeys, because that Stargate 1 curriculum walks you through every single chapter of the Sophia Code, 2 classes per chapter. And it really helps you to integrate these teachings in your body, your heart, your mind, and in all of the places and spaces in your unconscious that may not feel as though you're really worthy of mentoring with these Ascended Masters, or it really highlights the shadowy places within us that are resistant to this much light within us, this much constant transformation. So that Stargate 1 curriculum is already included when you apply to enroll in Sophia Circle Leadership, and our team angels are happy to answer all of your questions about Sophia Circle Leadership. You can get on the phone with them by scheduling a free call at my website at kaira.com. Or you could email us at contact@kaira.com. Let's see. Jen is sharing, yes, so many amazing experiences with the animals. I walked towards the longhorn cows. There were these gorgeous longhorn cows. Hathor was super represented at the ranch. And the biggest one came to the gate and was mooing so loud. I bowed to him and welcomed the Hathor. It was so special. Chelsea's celebrating the vultures. Oh my gosh, vultures is associated with Isis. Damien, who's one of our Sophia Circle leaders, she saw a snake on the first morning as she was journaling before the immersive. Snake, total transformation in action. Jen had an encounter with several ravens. Oh my gosh, so sweet. It was really interesting channeling that final fire dragon ceremony. Every single one of the longhorn cows, they created this semicircle as they faced us, and they never moved out of that semicircle until the ceremony was over. Like they were literally creating sacred space with us. It was as though they knew that a ceremony was happening, and they were absolutely intrigued by 100 people laying on the grass, surrendering into their highest empowerment as, the one body of Sophia Christ. That was a really big deal. Yeah, Damien is also sharing, I arrived home yesterday late, and today I am having so many emotions and feelings about arriving home. Yeah, so I wanted to close today's transmission with a prayer, right? Like, what happens when you experience so many miracles and so much empowerment for a week? We quantum leap, both individually and collectively. And quantum leaps open our eyes. Literally, my eyes is one of the reasons I'm wearing these sunglasses today, is because I had a huge bloodshot experience in my eyes. I was channeling so hard. I was so in the moment, like one of my right eye kind of exploded with blood. It was crazy. And I looked at the metaphysical meaning of it, and thank God it was nothing like weird. It was actually really positive, and it's my eye's still healing. So I'm just trying to go easy on myself here, but it was saying how, of course, as the eyes are the window to the soul, that, it's like there's this breakthrough happening in real time in how you see your life and how you see the people that are in your life. And as I know that it happened on stage when the breakthrough happened, it was the moment that the Sophia Circle leaders stepped forward, and we, invited them to help run the prosperity ceremony together with us on day 4. I felt it happen. I didn't really know what was happening because it didn't hurt. I just felt like, oh, my eye feels like it's flooding with water. Like maybe I'm emotional because I'm so happy that those Sophia Circle leaders are, stepping forward in their leadership and in a bigger way in our container. And I got off stage and one of my team angels was like, your eye is like kind of full of blood on the right side. And I was like, oh my God. So we called a doctor and just checked in with all the symptoms, and they were just like, no, it's fine. You can continue to serve, just take it easy. And I was like, okay, cool. But of course it like, in the moment, I was like, wow, this is a lot. This is very intense. And so I looked it up, and that breakthrough totally matched what I was experiencing on stage. It was like, wow, we have gathered individuals in our community, both in person and virtually, that are really ready for the we. They're really ready for a community of leaders leading side by side beyond competition and, like hierarchical free, like as equal sovereign leaders. And that to witness that shift of how our community was understanding myself and the vision that I've been tending to for so many years with the Sophia Code, which a lot of people, have only been able to understand a certain level of it. It's like, we're attempting to do something that I don't know of any other platform that's doing it in that way, where we are looking to activate and initiate leaders that are so in their power that they understand that, we're here to literally wing to wing, arm to arm, heart to heart, fit together like a puzzle piece and lead as a community, a worldwide movement. And so in that moment, I felt this collective shift of people who've been following our work for years of like, wow, we really get the vision of Sophia Circle leadership now. We really understand how important it is to activate light workers worldwide into their sovereignty, because a light worker can think that they're serving at a certain level, but have no idea how much their potential is being held back because they're not serving through a self-realized, self-recognized understanding of their sovereign divinity. The difference of leading from codependency into sovereignty. Leading from sovereignty requires a spiritual maturity. That spiritual maturity involves a lot of like letting go of the ego structure about why you're leading, which is perfectly natural to navigate when you first start leading. But eventually there needs to be an awakening beyond that into something much deeper, something much wider, that's serving something much greater than the individual, while including yourself as an important vessel of that divine consciousness pouring through you. So yeah, that was huge for me. That was a huge literal breakthrough to witness like the glory, the beauty of what we had all co-created with that Austin event. How many beautiful and empowered, spiritually mature individuals were showing up to that moment in time, both in person and online, and how much that the size of that yes and the dedication of our leaders like just blasted the doors of my heart open. Like I just felt like such a surrender into the next level of what can happen for this international movement and for our leaders and what's going to happen in Sedona. I couldn't even it was like almost impossible to even take in, like, wow, this is what's happening with our first major event of the year. Like, what's going to happen by the time we get to Sedona? And we've got Paris coming up on June 15th. We're taking our leaders, so some of our Sophia Circle leaders, to Bimini and the Caribbean to do some super Maha Atlantis light work in July. So by the time we get to Sedona in August, like Dragon's Gonna Dragon, I've already seen visions of what's going to happen, because it's interesting live what happened in Austin. Some like a taste of what's going to happen in Sedona started to come through, where psychic abilities were just slowly starting to be like recognized and activated on stage. Whereas in Sedona, we're going to go, full blown cultivation of psychic gifts on stage. And this was an important first step, what happened in Austin, to even be able to identify the difference between codependent and sovereign spiritual leadership. both in community as well as individually. You got to build a strong foundation before you start stepping up to the plate of next level psychic development. And that's what we did. And I want to thank each and every one of you so much for your incredible participation, your willingness, your yes. Lonnie's sharing, we literally looked like angels during the dragon ceremony outside. Yeah, that's what happens at Sophia Code events. The veils fall down and you get to see who you really are. You get to see your true divine inheritance embodied. And then our prayer is that as you bring that knowledge of who you really are back home with you, that you also feel the support of your higher self and the ascended masters, like helping you to ease back into life with that self-recognition, that self-realization, you know, that's going to change everything. Like everything's going to change now. One way or another, it's all changing. And that sounds exciting in theory, but when you hit the boots on the ground in the return to your life, it can be like, almost like I was sharing at the beginning, like that cold water in your face, like, whoa, I didn't know this much was going to change. And I loved what Lisa was sharing at the beginning of this, was like, I'll let go of whatever I have to let go of to come into alignment with my higher self, whatever it takes. And that's the prayer. That's really the prayer. Like the amount of time I've spent in the dream world, envisioning and journaling and meditation this weekend to help me process some of the painful let goes that have been happening, like as instantaneous biofeedback of the shifts that I've experienced. It was like, wow, okay, here we go. And I'm ready. I'm ready for these changes because they're only going to serve greater and greater events to happen. It's only going to serve like even more alignment for our team and our ministry and how we're able to show up and create at higher and higher levels. Like, who am I to hold back when there's so many new places to grow into, and there's so much divine consciousness calling us forward. It's so fun to read these comments coming in live. David sharing the experience was incredibly multidimensional. I feel so different and have new lenses on. And Lindsay is sharing, yes, so powerful to change in such incredible ways. That is the prayer. Sophia is sharing, I'm ready. So let's close with a prayer of support. You know, I was reading one of the few spiritual teachers that I really like to read their works is Yogananda. There's a few things that he teaches that I feel differently about, but there's a lot of stuff that he teaches about that I'm in like absolute alignment with most of his work. And so as I was reading some of what he was sharing in this book about prayer, he was saying, you know, when you pray to God, whatever you call God, it's important to not just say what you think God wants you to hear. Like, it's important to share how you really feel. And it's funny because for as long as I've turned to the source, to whatever the divine is in prayer, I've always known that that's extremely important to like express how frustrated or sad or scared or angry I might feel about changes happening in my life, or that I might know something needs to change, but I don't know the solution. And it might make me feel like out of control or disempowered. But the reality is like when we start to feel really big change within our hearts and on the horizon, we don't have to have all the answers. In fact, the answers are going to be revealed to us through prayer, through meditation, and through that moment by moment journey of walking through the changes that are being initiated through powerfully activated moments such as this. So the most important, I don't know, the way that I have found my relationship with the divine within me and with creator of all that is, creatrix, divine mother of all life is just like, hey, hi, this is me. This is how I feel right now. I want to be honest with you. Whatever you call God, source, divine mother. I feel, you know, fill in the blank. I feel upset about this. I feel angry about this. I want to be celebrating that, but this is really up in my face right now and in my heart, and this hurts. And I know this is perfect because it's expanding me into the person that you already know that I am and that you're guiding me to be. But like, you know, this is how I feel about it. And I need to know that you are here as the presence of God within me, guiding me to all of the solutions, guiding me to have the courage to make the choices and be brave enough to, you know, to receive your grace and your blessings and your solutions, God. Like, I am here on a mission for you. And ultimately, when you really are honest with yourself about why you're leading because at some point, somewhere in your human experience, and maybe it's every day, maybe it's once in a while, you feel the power of divine love. You feel the power of God within you and within others. That is what you are serving. Now, we have a lot of things that we have to mobilize that involve companies and bank accounts and team members and co-creators and platforms and technology. And when we feel overwhelmed by all of the moving parts of creation, that's when we temporarily forget that it's all about the love. But the truth is that it is always about the love. It is always about how much divine love you can deepen in with your source, how much faith you can feel in that source within you that would have never asked you to come into this world with this kind of a mission to serve unless it was coming from your divine love of source. And that this source is your boss. This source is your resource. This source, whatever you call God, is your guidance. This source, this God force within you is the power that can create through you. This source within you, this divinity within you that created the cosmos, is the power to heal the wounds that are being triggered into your greatest release and your greatest empowerment. Your spiritual leadership, of course, it's about service. But what are we serving? We're serving the divine love of God that knows you and loves you intimately within every cell of your body. And so one of the things that Yogananda loves to tell his students was when they're in prayer to say, reveal thyself, O Lord, whatever you call God. There's a lot of different words that people have used throughout the centuries, like Lord, God, Mother, Father. It doesn't matter. Reveal thyself. Light within, reveal thyself, divine love within, reveal thyself, divinity within, reveal thyself, Holy Mother within, reveal thyself, Divine Father within, reveal thyself, source of all solutions within, reveal thyself, creator of all life within me, reveal thyself, you who love me and know me beyond any other soul could ever know me. The intimate divine love that you are, God, reveal thyself within me and bless me first and foremost today, now and forevermore. That's the prayer. Start there. I felt the wind pick up when I started to say that. It's like, it's this really interesting invocation of like identifying that this divinity within you wants to be invoked and honored and identified and recognized and spoken to. But then when you come into communion with the revelations of your own divinity, that divinity is in communion with the entire source of all divinity, of all that is. And then you come back into the remembrance of like, oh, I really am a child of God. I'm actually wearing the Isis cuff, right? It says daughter and son of the Most High on the Isis cuff, daughter and son of the Most High. It is safe to lead. It is safe to be seen. Why would it be safe to lead and why would it be safe to be seen? Because you are a daughter and a son of the Most High. When you pray to God, when you pray to the source, you invoke it to listen to you. It's always listening to you. What you are invoking is your human awareness to believe that that source loves you so much that it is always listening to you. It's always ready to comfort you. And whenever we see like a lapse of poignant support or success or some kind of deficit of love, it's because we are forgetting to go to our source first for those answered prayers. It's really important to invoke the ascended masters around you every day, and you can ask them for guidance and support and miracles, and they're happy to co-create with you in that way. But it is your source from which everything within you arises. And that was a big leap for me, in Austin. It was like I had to take in the gravity of how much was a physical manifestation of that source consciousness pouring through me that I said yes to, which then allowed for that consciousness to co-create with everyone and everything that wanted to co-create with that yes. Being, coming back into remembrance of that same source creator within you, that same divinity within you is what brought you back to your home, to your businesses today, this week, renewed, refreshed, empowered, as well as triggered and healing. And you can invoke that source to help ease the tender, vulnerable edges that you are leaning into of personal growth, professional growth, that are welcoming you home to the most full and sovereign expression of yourself today. So tell God how you really feel. Both, you can share your excitement, you can share your gratitude, and you can share also your hard feelings. And if you don't know what to do with some of those hard feelings, and you can ask for the solution, you can ask for the comfort, and you can ask for, if you feel like a little kid, like upended, because of just how many powerful experiences you just had, it almost feels like you're being reborn as from the perspective of a little child. Like everything you thought was real may be upside down and inside out, because you came home and realized, wow, I built that on a false idol. Oh, I built that on codependency. Oh, that was because I didn't really think I had enough with me to do more than that. So all of those things are coming into your consciousness to let you know you grew beyond them. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt when you recognize it, because it does. You're like, oh, shoot. Wow, there it is. Wow, that's what's been creating unconscious pain in my life. There it is. Time to call that out. Time to name it and heal it. And who better to do that than through the presence of this divine love, loving you through both the pain and the victory, so that you can feel the peace and the calmness of a more sovereign relationship with life. Because that's what results when we move from that codependency into sovereignty in every aspect of our life. A greater essence of peace and calmness starts to emulate through our embodiment into every area of our life. And that peace is invincible, because it's coming from a communion with the divinity within you that is supporting you through these changes. So I hope this is helpful. I wasn't planning on speaking this long, honestly, but I'm really grateful for everyone that wanted to receive this message this morning to help integrate Austin and celebrate our victories. And I'm wishing you all a beautiful day or evening wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you back here again for the KR Daily Transmission tomorrow here at Kaia Official. Please go ahead and like this video if you're new to my channel and this is exciting for you. Go ahead and subscribe. And if you'd like to reach out to learn more about our upcoming Psychic Sovereign Spiritual Leadership Immersive in Sedona, if you'd like to join us in Paris, feel free to reach out to my team, angels, at contact@kaia.com. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be a part of your spiritual journey. Have a blessed and beautiful day or evening wherever you are in the world, everyone. Namaste.